Welcome back, Soapie lovers. As Doodsondes returns for its final season, the drama intensifies with shocking revelations, bitter rivalries, and unexpected twists. If you missed an episode, don't worry, we've got you covered with detailed, suspense-filled narratives that will bring every moment to life. Before we dive in, don't forget to join the channel membership, support us with super thanks, and let those ads play for at least 30 seconds to help keep these recaps coming. By the time the sun sets on March 10th, 2025, Episode 1, Handan's persistence remains unshaken. She stands firm before her brother, her voice unwavering as she pleads her case. Trust is a fragile thing between them, fractured by years of doubt and distance, but Handan knows how to play the long game. Meanwhile, Yildiz sharpens her focus on her next target, the unsuspecting neighbor whose presence she can no longer tolerate. With her signature charm and quiet manipulation, she ensures that life next door will soon become unbearable. At the same time, Ender, ever the tactician, carefully plots her next move. Kana and Kumru are nothing more than pieces on her board, and she intends to position them exactly where she needs them. Whether they realize it or not, they are already falling into place. As the night deepens on March 11th, 2025, Episode 2, Handan's patience is tested as she pushes forward in her quest to win her brother's trust. Each interaction is a delicate balancing act, a careful dance between persuasion and restraint. But she is not the only one with an agenda. Ender, always one step ahead, watches Handan's every move, suspicion simmering beneath her composed exterior. She knows better than to believe in selfless intentions, and she is determined to uncover what Handan is really after. Meanwhile, behind the cold prison walls, Dogan refuses to be a forgotten man. His influence stretches far beyond the bars that confine him, and he is willing to pull every string necessary to see his daughter. In the world of power and deception, no one remains locked away forever. By the time the sun rises on March 12, 2025, Episode 3, an unlikely friendship begins to take shape. Kumru and Alte, drawn together by circumstances neither of them fully understands, find themselves standing at the edge of something new. But as their bond strengthens, a storm brews in the distance. Dogan, the man many thought was defeated, walks free once more. His sudden release sends shockwaves through the city, but no one is more surprised than those who believed his reign was over. And just as the whispers of his return begin to spread, he stuns everyone again, this time with an engagement to Hilal. The question is no longer how Dogan got out, but what his next move will be. Dogan wastes no time reclaiming what was his on March 13, 2025, Episode 4. The moment he steps back into the company, he plunges into the financial reports, dissecting every number, every transaction. It does not take him long to see the betrayal written in black and white. Ender, Yildiz, and Handan have helped themselves to company funds, using them for their own lavish desires. The knowledge is power, and Dogan never lets power go to waste. Now, with the truth in his hands, the real question lingers: how will he choose to use it? On March 14, 2025, Episode 5, Dogan begins to strike back. The first blow lands on Handan, stripping her of her prized possessions as he seizes her cars, a reminder that nothing she has belongs to her. But he is just getting started. Ender soon finds herself backed into a corner when Dogan reveals his partial ownership of the hotel, forcing her to acknowledge his looming presence in her world. And as the dust settles from his calculated attacks, he takes his next step, a move that could shatter Yildiz's world. He wants custody of Yildizi, and he has the resources to make it happen. The stakes only intensify as March 17, 2025, Episode 6, dawns, bringing new layers of deception and betrayal. Yildiz, never one to be outplayed, spreads a rumor that shakes the social circles. Handan, the woman of high society, has fallen for the tea server. Across town, Hilal plays a dangerous game of manipulation, bribing Hande to convince Tarkan of a fabricated affair with Yildiz. But the whispers of scandal pale in comparison to the chilling possibility that sends a shiver down everyone's spine. Has Murat truly been murdered? March 18, 2025, Episode 7, marks the moment when chaos and celebration collide. As Emir and Kana come face to face with the thief in the hotel, tensions reach a boiling point. Meanwhile, Kumru's long-awaited bag collection launch is poised to be a moment of triumph, until Yildiz, never one to let a rival shine, ensures that her presence turns it into a spectacle. And in the shadows, Ender's eyes are set on a new conquest, Engin, a man who might just be her next game piece. The shifting tides of power reach an explosive peak on March 19, 2025, Episode 8, when Dogan strikes with precision. In a single ruthless move, he corners Ender, Yildiz, and Handan, forcing them into an impossible position, stripped of their shares, left vulnerable at the mercy of a man who shows none. Elsewhere, Emir and Kana's latest scheme takes an unfortunate twist, and before they know it, they find themselves behind bars, their fate uncertain. The battle for control rages on as March 20, 2025, Episode 9, unfolds with calculated risks and high stakes. Altay, ever the master manipulator, puts his plan into motion, his eyes set on Kumru. Meanwhile, Ender and Yildiz are thrust into an unexpected mission, one that requires them to divert the attention of Layla's husband's mistress. But while the games of deception continue, an even more sinister plot is brewing. Hilal's carefully laid plan to strike at Dogan is in motion. The question is, will she succeed? By the time March 21, 2025, Episode 10 arrives, the city is abuzz with questions that demand answers. Kana and Emir find themselves at a crossroads. Will they bow to Osman's offer if it means their freedom? As Dogan searches for the mastermind behind the attempt on his life, a new player emerges from the shadows. An American shrouded in mystery seeks out Ender, offering an opportunity that could change the game entirely. But in this world, opportunities often come at a price, and this one may be too steep to pay. By the time the evening settled on March 24, 2025, Episode 11, Zeynep's unexpected return filled the air with a bittersweet tension. Joy radiated from those who had longed for her presence, but beneath the surface, unspoken questions lingered. Meanwhile, within the cold confines of prison, Emir and Kana found themselves adapting in ways they never anticipated. Stripped of their freedom yet bound by an unshakable camaraderie, they discovered an unexpected sense of happiness amid their ordeal. Elsewhere, Altay's deception reached new heights as he orchestrated yet another illusion, bringing in a woman to pose as his fabricated mother's sister. Each move was calculated, each word spoken with precision, yet the weight of his own lies threatened to collapse the house of cards he had so carefully constructed. As the evening of March 25, 2025, Episode 12, unfolds, tension crackles in the air like a storm waiting to break. Zeynep, with steely determination, places an ultimatum before Safit, 10 million, and in exchange, he must release her from the shackles of their marriage. The offer is bold, almost reckless, but Zeynep has never been one to shy away from high stakes. Safit watches her carefully, his expression unreadable. Meanwhile, across town, a transformation is complete. Engin, who has undergone an entire makeover, steps into the limelight with renewed confidence. The changes are not lost on those around him, particularly Yildiz, whose encounters with Dogan begin to take on a newfound intensity. Sparks ignite between them, an attraction neither anticipated, yet impossible to ignore. However, the night takes an unexpected turn when Hilal, in a moment of fate or folly, finds herself in Dogan's bed. The repercussions of this unforeseen entanglement will undoubtedly send ripples through their already complicated lives. By the time the sun rises on March 26, 2025, episode 13, Kumru finds herself drawn to Altay, her interest growing with each passing interaction. The chemistry between them is subtle yet undeniable, promising the potential for something deeper. At the same time, Yildiz, unable to escape her subconscious desires, finds her thoughts increasingly consumed by Dogan. Dreams of him haunt her nights, leaving her shaken yet intrigued. Elsewhere, Ender, ever the master manipulator, gifts Kana with a pair of lavish earrings, urging him to present them to Kumru as a token of wealth and influence. However, just as the day seems to be settling into its usual rhythm, a sudden and terrifying event unfolds. Zeynep's kidnapping is thwarted at the last possible moment. But fate is cruel, and in an ironic twist, Yildiz, the hero of the moment, becomes the victim instead. She is taken, her fate unknown, leaving those who care for her in a state of panic. The chilling realization of Yildiz's abduction sets March 27, 2025, episode 14, into a frenzy. Both she and Zeynep have vanished without a trace, plunging those left behind into chaos. No one is more unhinged than Dogan. His fury is unparalleled, his desperation palpable. His search is relentless, ruthless, as he pulls every string, calls in every favor, and overturns every stone in a frantic bid to find his ex-wife. But his pursuit leads him down a dark and treacherous path, where the grim reality of the situation unfolds before him. What he discovers shakes him to his core. Yildiz's fate hangs in the balance, and the truth he unearths is nothing short of devastating. March 28, 2025, episode 15, dawns with a calculated scheme brewing in Handan's mind. Her target, Ender and Engin. Determined to drive a wedge between them, Handan carefully orchestrates a plan designed to separate the two for good. Meanwhile, against all odds, Yildiz makes a shocking return home, seemingly unharmed, but the air around her is thick with suspicion. Hilal, sharp-eyed and skeptical, cannot shake the feeling that something about this so-called kidnapping does not add up. The inconsistencies gnaw at her, pushing her to investigate further. Is Yildiz truly a victim, or has she spun a web of deceit so intricate that even those closest to her are fooled? As the week draws to a close, and March 31st, 2025, episode 16 arrives, Ender finds herself backed into a corner. The walls of financial ruin are closing in, and the weight of her hotel debt is an anvil pressing down on her chest. Time is running out, payment is due soon, and solutions are scarce. Meanwhile, Zeynep embarks on a different kind of closure, seeking out a friend of her ex-husband to finally put the ghosts of her past to rest. Yet, amidst these personal battles, another enigma emerges: Engin's new secretary. There is something about her, something intriguing, something that suggests she is far more than she appears. As the characters continue to navigate their tangled lives, secrets lurk in the shadows, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. With each passing episode, Doodsondes continues to weave a tapestry of power, revenge, and ambition that leaves viewers on the edge of their seats. Don't forget to support the channel by joining the membership, donating via Super Thanks, and letting the advertisements play fully to keep this thrilling content coming. Stay tuned, because in this world, the next betrayal is always just around the corner.